Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick, Season 2, Episode 10, the finale, Looking for Home, Alonso Duralde, William Bibbiani. Holy crap, guys, joining us today, the creator of this dang show, Michael Lannan, and Mr. Daniel Franzese, a.k.a. Saint Eddie, joining us today. Thank you guys for being here. Bibbs, please don't sexually harass our guests.
I promise nothing.
Okay. So, let's take a quick look at this show.
So moving in, moving on to both those things.
Is she ever gonna talk to me again?
Well, you just gotta come around. Seriously, just come around.
This has been like going through the worst breakup that I've ever been through.
I really need to try this on my own.
You guys are from upstairs, right? Wow, word really travels fast. You know, some new me is of interest.
Everyone is so flirty.
Yeah, with you.
Easy on the punch.
I love the idea of a party where Jonathan Groff is the plain one. Poor man. No one's paying him any attention. So, when people ask, why do you not move in with somebody too fast? This is why. Because you haven't had the conversation about how open you're going to be, and you don't know about the Field of Dreams poster.
It's true.
And these are vital things to know.
Is Field of Dreams really that vital? Is that going to be a deal breaker for anyone? I like Field of Dreams.
I like
Am I
Field of
thinking
Dreams.
straight? What's going on?
I like
here?
Field of
really want
Dreams
it in my
too.
living room.
I just, yeah, exactly.
I'm more of a
I think
sneakers
if you
man.
poster in your living room, yeah, that's a little too much.
I mean, if it was like She-Devil or Serial Mom, maybe.
I love She-Devil so much.
It's the little thing. It's like why you should always, I think, go on a long trip with someone before you move in with them.
Yeah.
Because that's where you really find out the shit.
Well, what I thought was interesting what you guys did with this episode was, it really was mostly Patrick and Kevin. I figured there'd be some sort of big climactic scene with Augie and Eddie.
Me
and,
too. No.
And it's just, I know, what I love about it is
The only thing I don't like about this episode.
it cuts to them being awesome. Like they had their big finale in the last episode, and it wrecked me, and I thought it was adorable. But here it's just like, oh, they're fine. Patrick and Kevin are screwed this week.
Well, one of the things we talked about was just having that party that Patrick and Kevin were always trying to get to, and we always expect them to get there, but then they just don't get there. So I think the final version of the show doesn't quite play that way as much, but we wanted to build it so that it seemed like they were going to get to the party, but then didn't.
It adds an air of tension. It's sort of like, we're in the middle of this huge argument, but we have this thing to go to, so are we going to talk about this now? I guess
so they have to rush through the argument and have to get to the main bullet points. Was this something you were, because I think we look at Patrick and Kevin as sort of, they seem good together, but because of the way that they started their relationship, it seemed like, it was always maybe a little doomed. Was that something you think about, or is dramatically, like, that will they or won't they, or is it just looking at chemistry and...
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Because love triangle is sort of the classic TV paradigm, and it's classic for a good reason, because it's interesting and it's dramatic, and it's about making choices in your life. I think we tried to make this more about Patrick and sort of his relationship to Kevin, and what he gets from that, and at the same time what he gets from Richie, and so just making it a little more Patrick-centric than the sort of like this one or this one, which is he going to choose. So Richie doesn't appear much in this season, but I think they both offer him different things. So I guess in terms of thinking about Kevin, I don't think we thought of it as doomed. I think when we first started out, we knew Kevin was, in many ways, like the perfect mate that Patrick envisions himself. Right. So obviously that's going to break down at some point. But I think we didn't exactly know how that was going to happen, and really just sort of came about step by step in the writer's room.
Well, it's always that Dear Abby thing, It's like, well, if he does leave his wife for you, you will have somebody who cheated on his wife with someone else, and is that who you want to marry, really, reader?
Yeah.
So that was just sort of lingering in the back of my mind with that. Yeah. I want to ask about the introduction of Eddie this season, because I mean, it's a great character, and I think he's added a lot to the show. But at the same time, it kind of feels like, all right. I was trying to think of like what people complained about from season 1. It was like, okay, Augustine's an asshole. They don't talk about HIV on this show, and everybody looks like they're of the same sort of classic, mainstream gay media body type. Mm-hmm. Ta-da! Am I being too cynical about this, or
Yeah, I mean, maybe a tad cynical. I mean, we had thought of. We had a lot of ideas we just couldn't do in first season.
Sure.
As you can't
8 episodes.
fit it all in. Yeah, 8 half-hour episodes. It's nothing. It flies by. So we had talked about sort of, having a bigger guy in the first season, but we just had so much to accomplish otherwise, and we didn't quite know where he fit in. And then in talking about second season, it just came together so quickly. Like Danny and I were just talking. It was really a matter of like 2 days where I don't remember the order of things, but we had this discussion in the room about a bigger guy. Carmen Cuba, our amazing casting director, sent us Danny. As I remembered, it was the essay you had written. Danny thinks it was the photos. I'm not sure what happened, but and then we just kind of like everyone was on board instantly, and everyone threw in something. The name, the like feeling, the work, it was just, and that never happens in any room, I don't think. Like there's always some objection of some kind or like hesitancy, but it was like just instant synchronicity.
And serendipity. I mean, at least on my part too, I felt like it just flowed how I never got a part easier.
Well, you know what's weird too is like that one of those 2 days was when I walked out onto Sunset Boulevard.
And we walked past each other on the street.
Yeah, it was like, it was so strange. We were talking about Danny at Sunset Gower in the room. I went to get a coffee, and Danny walked the other way. And this is Sunset Boulevard, like not that many.
And I was just
No one's on a sidewalk in Los Angeles ever.
Yeah, and my friend was like, "That's Michael Lannan, the creator of Looking." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Should I go say hi?" No, but you're meeting with Andrew. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like it was just so weird that I just walked past you on my way.
It was very strange, yeah. But it was all like that. It just like
yeah.
came together.
It just gelled in a normal.
Well, no, I've been on board with the show from the get-go, but I really liked where this went this season in terms of I love that Doris got an episode. I love that. You said that Richie didn't pop up a lot, but boy, did he pop up in just the right strategic moments.
There was actually applause at the Castro Theater when he shows up in episode 2. People like stood up.
Did you have a plan going into season 2 where you're thinking this is the season where we're going to explore blank or the consequences of Patrick's decision, or was there a focus for you, or are you letting it evolve naturally?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to remember exactly, but there were just so many things we didn't get to do in season 1, so that was sort of one of we had this little pool of ideas. Another was just kind of feeling how the show was received to a certain extent. I don't read that much. I didn't last season, but just getting a slight feeling of the reception, and then also just kind of thinking about where we want to go with all the characters. I think obviously in season 2 you get to bring out sides of characters. You don't have to establish them anymore. You get to complicate them. So I think that was sort of that was probably the main place we started from. Like Andrew, as you know, is like a very character-based kind of director and writer, and so I think we just talked about like what new sides did we want to explore. Like Augustine, for example, has burned down his life in season 1. How does he build it back up, and what kind of an environment do we put him in? What kind of people does he come across to bring out these new sides of him? Yeah. So we're not such a like plot-driven room, as you can probably imagine, but but we sort of married the things, I think, more, and I think that's right. Yeah.
Has it been tricky to do? I mean, you're right. The show is not super story-driven. It is really more about the characters and their sort of things they learn, and mistakes they make, and little baby steps toward whatever the next level they're going to reach is.
Yeah.
Is that particularly hard to do on a half-hour show?
Yes.
Because there's a book called Difficult Men about the sort of the golden age of TV and how it's all the Tony Soprano and Walter White and these complicated characters. And one of the things they say is that difficult men get an hour and difficult women get half an hour. Like Nurse Jackie gets half an hour, Weeds gets half an hour, and so I've amended that. Gay guys also get half an hour.
That's so funny. Yes, it is hard. I think also the tone of our show is fairly unique. It's, we're in the comedy division of HBO, but obviously we have a more dramatic tone than a lot of comedies.
Sure.
HBO is great though. They really let the show find its own tone, and they didn't dictate punch this up until it gets into our half-hour zone.
Right.
They really want the show to find itself. So that was great. I think episode 5 in season 1 is sort of a response to that, a bit of like just trying to do something unconventional with that time.
Sure.
And just spending all that time with those two characters, Patrick and Richie. And I think throughout, in different episodes, there were ways we were trying to fool around with the format so we didn't have to go A, B, C in every half hour.
Sure.
And also in second season, something we talked about was having the friends be together more. So that was one of our goals, and that helps with the half hour and the time constraints. And
I think we're all hoping for a confirmation of a season 3 sometime soon. But when that comes through, not plastic, will we every season have one episode where Patrick and Richie play hooky and find out more about each other? Because I'm liking that.
Possibly.
It comes in, that should be a thing.
See what I can do. Where do you want them to go next year?
Comic-Con?
Oh,
God. Screw it. Yeah, let's have them go to a thing, because I liked seeing, the whole gaming convention.
Yeah.
Even it was specialized, but that's an environment I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I liked seeing, I like that Patrick is such a geek. I like that he dressed as Gordon Freeman, and I wanted to punch everyone who didn't get it. How do you not get it?
I had no idea.
I wanted to punch him too. I was baffled.
Full disclosure, I didn't know Gordon Freeman.
So punch away, Bibbs.
But I love the way that played, because some people are so passionate about Gordon Freeman and that world.
Wait, but did you get it right away?
Oh yeah, totally.
Did
you wait out a little?
A little bit. It was a great costume. I was wondering where the hell he got it, because you do not buy that at a store.
Yeah.
We were talking about how great that episode was. Was your costume department excited about that episode, or were they going, "Oh God"?
Both.
Okay.
No, Danny Glicker, our amazing costume designer, we actually shot episodes 6 and 8 together. They had the same director, the amazing Jamie Babbitt, who I think you know.
True.
They were, so that was the gaming conference and the Halloween party.
Right.
The two most
costumes
episodes in the entire series. And it was hundreds of extras, and
they all had really clever costumes for the most part.
Yeah.
The Carrie costume was really clever.
Yeah.
Was it always the plan to make him a hobbit, or did you help out with that? It's I want to be a hobbit.
That was written. Yeah, that was.
So they're not allowed to make any creative decisions in that cast. Are they? Yeah.
I don't know. I think Danny's made a few. I think he's brought a few.
Have you?
Well, yeah. You mean improvisation?
Or just anything at all that you bring to it that wasn't in the
think
script?
Eddie's clothing style and was a discussion that I had with Danny Glicker. We talked a little bit about, but we were kind of on the same page. I mean, he was really channeling it before it even happened. He had a vision board with different kinds of people, and 4 of them were people that I'm actually friends with. And I was like, wow.
Did you get to meet the other one?
Was Costello Tagliapietro on there?
No, I mean, definitely in the costumes, and he's really into realism. He would give me something and have me put it on and be like, how do you tie this? And he'd be like, how does Eddie do it? You do it. Which I felt is really cool, because, a lot of costume designers are perfectionists, but he wants it to, real is his primary focus.
Yeah.
But I mean, lines and stuff. I mean, I made up Bag of Dicks.
Danny Glicker is also really he really is a collaborator, as Danny's talking about, and he just he'll do that all the time. I don't think he ever dictates a costume, or if he does, he makes you think that he's not dictating a costume. but he really does not want an actor to wear something that they don't believe in.
Yeah.
And so it's a very collaborative process. I remember doing the pilot. Our 3 primary guys, they spent days with Danny.
He's legitimately a genius. I mean, Oscar nominated for Milk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and his assistant told me one time that in some scenes where in a situation where background would have 3 blue hoodies on. People would just switch that out. That's one of the, costume design 101. And he'd be like, no, sometimes people have 3 blue hoodies on.
Right.
It happens in life. And this is how it happened today.
Yeah.
And I really respect that, because costumes for me and hair and makeup and that stuff is like the last thing that I need to really inhabit, whatever it is that I'm going to play as a character. That and the line I don't like.
So that was the bag of dicks thing. That's why you had to switch that around.
No, that wasn't a bad line. That was just an add-on. But like, if I get a line, I hate when an actor's like, I don't like saying it, because I'm like, if I wouldn't say it, Eddie would say it, and that's the reason it doesn't feel like me. So I love the lines that I feel that don't roll off my tongue easily.
For the record, we had a debate about the bag of dicks line. I had to look up, make sure there wasn't a restaurant called Dick's.
No, Seattle has one.
Seattle has one. San Diego has a Dick's.
Yeah, you can get a bag of dicks in Seattle that is not like Dick's Last Resort, like it's a burger place.
Yeah, so we looked it up, and it was complicated, but we figured it out.
You should have went to Urban Dictionary first.
Should I? God damn it!
Yes.
I never think of it. He's had to explain a lot of terminology.
Oh my God, so many Truvada discussions. It's really
Truvada. I didn't know what an otter was.
It's been a journey with you,
came
Bibbs,
up
this season. I got to tell you.
Have you ever heard of a Care Bear stare? I never
Go
heard of
on.
this.
Well, I know what that actually is as far as Care Bear world, but
When you're in a gay bar, do you know what a Care Bear stare is?
No.
I want to know what that is so bad.
Apparently, it is
we're already
the
laughing.
locked on gaze of someone you want to hook up with.
Right.
It's a Care Bear stare.
Oh, then I definitely know what that is.
Does the other person have to be a
cruising,
bear, or
No, it's like cruising. Also, I heard a new terminology. It was like everyone in SF knew what it was, but like when you walk around the gay bar, it's called a Fruit Loop. Like I never called it that before.
I don't think they call the eagle to the Akbar is Fruit Loop. I think.
Oh, okay, that must be like
actually.
or maybe like going from bar to bar or whatever. I just love that very much.
So now, obviously, there is discussion about what's happening for a third season. People who are watching this are clearly invested in there being a third season. What can we, the home viewer, do? Is the SAVELOOKING hashtag on Twitter going to change the world? Like what?
It can't hurt.
What should we be doing?
Calling your politician.
Ted Cruz is on the case.
yeah?
No, I think there's been a lot of really awesome support, especially just after the finale aired yesterday. There were tons of great pieces in New York Times and New Yorker and Advocate.
IndieWire had a good one.
Yeah, IndieWire, Grantland. So that's all been really awesome to feel. Tweeting HBO can't hurt.
Okay.
Who knows? Yeah, posting, I think expressing your love.
Is there a vibe you're getting from HBO? Because it seems HBO can really stick with a show if they think it's bringing them good press, or even if it's just really, really good. They stuck with The Wire for 5 seasons, and that never had great ratings, but
then
it was so brilliant.
Or they'll enlighten you if you're not careful.
That's also possible. But like, is there a vibe? Or is it looking good and we keep our fingers crossed, or is it?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. It's you just never know. We're not getting anything really right now, and that's kind of how they work. You just have to wait.
To me, it would be really sad in a way because of the feedback that I've been getting about my character being in a serodiscordant couple and showing a mixed status relationship and showing like an HIV positive person being pursued sexually and it not getting in the way of a relationship and the barriers that's broken down. I mean, I haven't even shared half of the letters and the things, that I've gotten from people and the response. I think it's just completely revolutionary. And thank you for that opportunity, but also to HBO's so awesome for being able to put that stuff on the air and show people in a different light.
It's been fascinating to watch.
Pull it up on HBO Go, make your friends watch it, whatever it takes.
Push comes to shove, shared universe. Okay, bring Game of Thrones into it a little bit. Peter Dinklage comes on.
We've already got a Red Wedding episode.
Yes. There we go.
Well, and you've got the big guy who is a gay.
Hodor.
Hodor. There we
That's
go.
right. Oh my gosh, a Hodor.
Yeah.
Yes, it's screaming.
Also
crossover.
has a giant penis. So there we go.
Okay, easy.
True.
Like I want to stay.
I want to see him. I want to see him fight.
It's been discussed on this program already. It was all good though.
It was all good.
Make it part of your reel. All right, so guys, congratulations. This season was terrific.
It really was. Thank you.
We're digging the show. We hope it's back. Thank you guys for watching, and hashtag SAVELOOKING, and let's get these guys back.
Yeah, tweet me about it. I'll favorite you.
There you go.
My.
At What's Up, Danny?
That's me.
And are you on Twitter?
I am at Michael Lannan.
Okay.
Clever.
Yes,
that works.
There's
out
no
great.
missing it. All right, you guys, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Alonso.
And we'll be back for season 3. Even if there isn't a season 3, we're gonna be back anyway.
We'll be
looking
looking
for
just to will it into existence. So
There you go. We'll just act it out in the
be here.
backyards.